Hey guys, it's Chris. What's up? I'm going to do some Core 2020 draft on Magic Arena. So it's going to be a best of one draft. Let's see what we get. Very happy to have this. It's a 4-mana 5/4 which you can give haste to. Basically, reach and trample are obviously good too, but haste is great in draft when you're racing or whatever. Disfigure would be a consideration, and isolation also, but I'm fairly sure I'm just going to take the big body. So Thrashing Brontodon goes well with our first pick in that it's on colour. They're both big bodies, so we could make a green plus a second colour aggro deck. Nothing else in this pack is so good it makes me want to abandon the Ceratops. This card is pretty good, this card is pretty good, but I'm going to stick with the Ceratops, which makes me want the Brontodon. I'm feeling quite rewarded in this third pack because I think the Warlord is superb and green-white is an absolutely fine colour pairing for beating people to death, which is currently the plan. Just going to slightly turn down the arena audio. A bit much at the moment. We're getting rewarded with lots of my favourite green cards. I really like Pulse and Marassa. Lets you rebuy the best thing you've had die. Aerial Assault is decent removal as well, but I'm a big fan of Pulse and Marassa. Druid is nice. It's a 2-drop. It accelerates. I mean, it doesn't have any power and toughness, so you could consider Steadfast Sentry a better choice in this type of deck because we're like a beatdown deck. But the Druid does allow you to do things like turn 3 Shifting Ceratops, or indeed turn 4 Shifting Ceratops plus give it haste. So I'm basically choosing between these two. Given that we're not locked into white, that makes me lean towards the Druid. Other elementals have trample. What's an elemental? Well, that is, but it has no power. Then we have 2 dinosaurs and a tree folk. So that's not amazing in this deck. The axe is good with the Warlord because it turns the tokens into real threats, and I quite like to have like 1 equipment per draft deck. I find them really useful as a way to reuse mana and to kind of get some utility. The Shaman has a bit of utility because you can either shuffle good cards you've lost back into your library in a long game, or you can shuffle away your opponent's graveyard if they appear to be a reanimation strategy, although I'm not sure how strong that is in this format. I don't particularly think that I'm taking that. I'm looking at the axe. Well, I'm obviously looking at the cards that are on colour, basically. I think I'm going to take the axe because we have no elementals and we're doing all right in, you know, medium-sized creatures. So this tracker is a very expensive source of card advantage. Green appears to be open, so that's great news. I don't normally like auras, but I find this one with flash quite good as a combat trick. And Veil of Summer, whilst it's an absurd card in old constructed formats, I think it's a bit too narrow for limited. So I'm looking at this, basically. I'm not locked into playing it, but I think I'm just going to take the 2-drop. We need 2 drops. I'll take Inspired Charge because it's very good with Ironroot Warlord, and if we're playing Ironroot Warlord, then obviously we're playing white. So take another 2-drop. This deck's looking quite good. So we've got either a combat trick or a whopper. I'll take a trick. Prismite might be helpful if we end up trying ambitious things with our mana. pack isn't great for us. There's some good cards. I could take another growth cycle, because obviously the card is better when you have a few. I don't want to play too many tricks, so it might replace this. I think that's okay. There's enough, like, aggressive 1-mana 1/1s, like the Spitter, in this format that I think one of these is fine. I generally don't think 1-drops are where you want to be in Limited, because they tend to lose value quickly. Flyers we are short on. Yeah, this second pack has been real bad for us at every turn. I'm wondering whether I should have moved into a third colour. I'm going to stick with the plan of green-white beatdowns and hope to get away with it. I don't think I'm going to play a second Inspired Charge, but I'm not playing anything else from that pack. So we can either go for value or go for beating people to death, which I think is more on plan with what we've got going on. I'll take that on the off chance we pick up a couple more, but I'm very unlikely to make it. We're alright for playables though. We're alright because pack 1 was very good. Bad removal is still removal. And we don't have much removal yet, so that's got to be our priority. I suppose combat tricks can sometimes function as removal in a way. But like a rabid bite would be perfect. This feels like it's a bit too narrow. What else have we got? Squad Captain's probably the best for our deck, as sad as it is. It's not a very good card, I don't think. So I'm looking at either Raise the Alarm or Thrashing Brontodon. And given that we've got a lack of 2s, I'm going to take Raise the Alarm. It's very good with... Ooh. That's great. Okay, so we're looking at like a go wide sort of a theme. Could take Fixing, could take this. I'm going to take this. I think our mana should be fine if we're solidly 2 colours. We can just play 9 forests and 8 plains and be happy. More bad removal. Another one of those. If we hit a third one, then I'm in, I think. I'm very happy to have picked up that overrun effect. I've got a few too many combat tricks right now. I'm just going to take these out and see how we are for numbers. 24. So 1, 2. So I'm thinking of cutting either 1 druid or 1 healer as my cut. Although we could maybe get away with being 16 lands because we are only... our curve stops at 5. We're mostly cheap and it's a best of 1, so the hand smoother will save us. Which is not the correct way to build decks, so don't consider that to be particularly good advice. But I'm going to give this a go as it is, I think. So we are basically low curve, aggressive. We've got 4 very good tricks, 2 removal spells, 11 non-creatures, apparently. So we've got the 1 Overcome, the Pulse of Marassa, Inspiring Charge, the Axe. Wondering whether we need another creature. Oh, I might Raise the Alarm is a creature, isn't it? So I'm going to submit that. It might be a bit trick heavy, potentially. Might be that I need to play one less trick and one more like random body. Just a 3-mana 3/2 or something would be fine, but let's see if we can get Randy Pinkwood dead nonetheless. Well, this isn't a very good hand. It's a basic forest away from a very good hand. On the draw, I'm going to mulligan. I'm going to keep this. This is another very good hand. Just going to bottom the trick. Yeah, this hand is great. Ooh. If opponent is blue-white flyers, that's the archetype I've had the most success with, at least. I don't know if it's the best archetype, but it's the one I like. Please don't have any way to slow me down, opponent. Okay. I'm going to play the Warlord. I'm not going to attack because the Warlord blocks the Thief fantastically, and I don't want them to be attacking with the Thief. Them attacking with the Thief lets them draw cards. Okay. I think they have a Blade Brand. But I think I'm okay with that. Because we've got Pulse of Marassa for later. It stops them playing a 4-drop. If they trade their Blade Brand plus their Thief for my Warlord, but they have drawn a card off the Thief. It's basically a 2 for 2. Let's see what happens. Befuddle. Okay, that's much better because basically they've spent their turn doing nothing. Oi oi. That's a nice one. I think my preference at the moment is to just make tokens, because this can't be countered and they are a blue deck, so I'm hoping there's a turn where they hold up Bone to Ash or something and I can run the Ceratops out boldly knowing that it's not a problem. Okay, I'm going to make a token and block here and take 1. That's a good exchange for me. That's fine as well. Start putting them under a bit of pressure. This game appears to be going quite well. We can do a mass pump next turn if we wish. I think I'm going to use my sentry here. Putting the counter on this guy because he's my best creature by a lot. Okay. And because these now tap for 2 each, we've still got enough to make a token, which is great. My plan is basically to make a token in the end step and then overcome next turn for lethal, and yeah, all my guys will have trample and be swole. I assume they're gonna, yeah, this might slow me down a turn. A thief and a, yeah, that's fine. So they're going to play the 1/1 as a death touch blocker, which is totally reasonable. They're going to attack me with a 1 in the air, I should think. Oh, sorry, 3 in the air. I missed that flow as well. Oh, I could have given it reach. I'm an idiot. My plan here is just to make 2 tokens is the most I can do, and then do a giant attack next turn, basically. Okay, so opponent is making logical attacks. We take it all. We make tokens. We make tokens. And we cast this. I haven't done any maths. This looks like a shitload to me. Should be lethal. Yes! Yes! Maths is for blockers, as they say. Why do maths when you can make 1,000,000 power and toughness and kill people to death? Good start. The deck seems great. That was off of a mulligan on the draw, and it wasn't close, so I'm keen to see how we get on. Danmat. Got some very exciting named opponents recently. That's a good mulligan. That's a good keep. I'm going to put the... it's a toss-up between the pulse and the charge to go on the bottom, because they're both better later. I'm going to put the charge on the bottom, with the logic being that we don't have double white yet and we don't know how long that might take. But let's see how the game progresses. It might have been an awful choice. Way, it is as I foresaw it. That was meant to sound like Darth Sidious. I literally put the healer in my deck because Scorch Spitter is for some reason popular. I don't like it much. Cool. I'm happy to keep passing. We're not under too much pressure. That thing having vigilance is annoying. They've named green. Okay, I figured they'd be red based. Let's play out our Whopper. Yeah, I can attack for 1. Happy to trade with the knight if they double block. Don't think they can single block, and I don't think they can attack, so that was basically a free point. I think this, yeah, it's basically this world's slowest card advantage. But I guess it is still card advantage. I'm going to threaten to give it trample if they try anything. They very wisely don't try anything. Yeah, we're in a decent spot considering, again, mulligan, the deck seems good. I wish that knight wasn't vigilant, because I'd love to be able to use my removal spell on it, but it's never going to tap. What's going on? Things are lighting up, but I can't tell what opponent's scheme currently is. Hopefully, if I win enough today, I can get one of these stupid little cats, and then I'll feel like I've achieved something. Yep, just this one. They clearly have a trick. This is fine by me. Oh no, it's not, because it pumps itself. Shit. Okay. Well, hooray for Pulse of Marassa, I guess. Maybe 3, 4, 5. So I can't do anything else this turn, so we pass, get that back with Pulse at the end of the turn. I would love to be able to remove this thing. Oh, it's an artifact, so it could be killed by Thrashy Bee, of which I have 2, I think. So that's a very good option that we might draw. I thought there was going to be a 5/5, and then I forgot that it gets pumped every time a green spell comes in, and now I'm sad. But Pulse of Marassa makes me not that sad. Take it. Oh, Vigilance is good. Vigilance on a 6/6 is very good. What else you got, opponent? I suspect if they've got no cards, then their plan is just to activate the tracker, which is fine. It's basically sacrifice your turn, draw a card, which is okay. See if they have any rubbish in their hand. If they don't discard, then that's ominous, because it means their hand is really good. Okay. They are going rather wide. I would love to draw my Warlord, my Ironroot Warlord, or my Thrashing Brontodon. Well, I guess... Oh. I have to play this now, unfortunately. I was thinking of... But the Druid's kind of done its work. I was thinking of killing the Druid because they don't seem to be in a... They're bored. The creatures that they do have, and you know, this being Vigilant and most of these not being very good attackers on this board. Well, the good news is that doesn't have any anything like Trample, so I can chump block it a couple times. They're making a cowardly attack because they're a coward. I'm going to take 10 this time. And hopefully get a way to deal with it at some point. So I can double block plus Growth Spiral next turn if they continue to be empty-handed. It's kind of a desperation play, but we're in a shit spot because they have a 10/10. Or I can give it one more turn. The thing that's sad about it is it'll only give me a combined 10 toughness, so I'm getting 3 for 1. With that said though, it's wearing 2 auras. So it would kind of be a 3 for 3, is what I'm saying. But I do appear to be really down on cards, and I'll be really behind on board after this. Please don't have a trick. Please. Oh, that's such a good draw. What a rip from the opponent. It's a bit sad, isn't it? Don't think we really deserved that. We were already in the toilet with the way that block had to be. And then they go ahead and rip perfect off the top of the deck. Let's not worry. The deck seems good still. Jace beats Chandra. I've played enough Pokemon to know that. Blue beats red. This is an awfully slow hand. We're going second. It gives us like a couple of draws at cheap creatures. And we've got interaction if they get out the blocks fast, so I'm going to just keep it of the strength of the Ceratops, basically. Okay, that's irritating because aerial assault can only kill things which are tapped. So the best scenario here is that they play something good which taps to attack. Ooh, that was a surprise passing of the turn. Not doing any attacking. I don't know why they didn't attack with their sentinel. It was 2 free points of damage. Okay. Can't be blocked by more than one creature. And now they're making the attack when it's sort of weird. I don't get it. Opponent is freaking me out. Gonna play this guy. This keeper's panned out quite well because we've drawn a good mix of stuff and we've got a high card quality in hand. Like the overrun effect is good. We've got a removal spell. We've got some potentially large creatures. Okay. If they attack with that, I will not block, and then I will aerial assault it and feel very clever. I'm going to play this out. I'm going to pass, and then in their end step I'm going to raise the alarm, and then the overcome. Sorry, I said overrun before. It's a very similar magic card from an older set. Yeah, the overcome will be very good. Ooh, nice. They are overcommitting, so they presumably bash me for 5 now. I just let that happen, and then I aerial assault it next turn. We've got a green floating. That went well. Oh, I thought I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 4 is not 5. Well then, Chris, good maths. Good maths. Yeah, just the 1. Okay. Yep. Opponent has also realised that a 1/2 that gains life is a very good defensive 1-drop. How much does this cost to equip? 3. Yeah, they seem to have overlooked that. I'm just going to run out some creatures because the more creatures you have in play, A, the better this is, and B, the better overcome is. I'm going to bash with this, and if they go for like a multi-block or whatever, it takes 2 things off the board, which is good. If they go for a single block, I'm going to give it trample. They're going for the multi-block. I'm still going to give it trample. Overcome next turn is going to be devastating because we're going to have at worst an 11/11 with trample and some friends. So that is good. Yeah, the attack next turn is going to be huge. It might not kill them, but it will threaten lethal and it will force them to make some unpleasant decisions. Opponent agrees. as you can see, Overcome, we've cast twice, and both times opponents have just said, you know what, I'm not doing any maths, I'm dead. The card is good. The card is very good in green-white in particular, where you have access to Raise the Alarm and the Warlord and ways to go wide. The fact that we've got that and we've got an Inspiring Charge as an equivalent effect is very nice. I think we've done basically a reasonable job of building this style of deck. For those who were playing Standard about 2 years ago, or maybe a year ago, there was a March of the Multitudes and Flower Flourish deck, and this is basically a shit version of that. This is a decent opener. We've got a piece of removal, we've got a mana sink, we've got a 2-drop. I am happy. Wouldn't have chosen a 5th land if I could pick any draw step, that's for sure. I'm going to play the Druid because mana early is good. They appear to have a removal spell. No? I don't know why they paused. Ah, they have a slow start and we have a fast start. Okay. I'm happy. We are another decent creature away from being in a really good shape. Although we still haven't drawn any. You know, we've drawn 1 non-land and 2 lands. I guess I'm moaning too much. Just gonna run this out. They don't have Bone to Ash mana. I'm not sure what else I should be scared of. And I'm gonna attack. Is there anything with Flash? There's lots of things with Flash. Realised that a bit late. But yeah. Got away with it. I don't know what this opponent's got going on. There's a thing with Flash they could have used as a Doomblade last turn, but chose not to. I'm going to take the decision that they probably only have 1 spell on my turn, which means they can't pump this more than 1 time. But they can pump it big enough to... So they can either eat this or trade. I suspect they'll just eat it. Make the sort of greedy play, as it were. Have I played land? I have. I'm going to pass there, and I'm going to plan on aerial assaulting their Cutthroat once they've attacked with it. If they're going... Oh, they can't attack. I have a 6/4. Oh, I'm so far ahead. My conditional removal is bad. Ooh. It's tough being Chris. If they have another one of these, then I'm in some trouble. Okay. This is fine. They can double block. Oh no, single block, my bad. Yeah, it's going fine. This is why I like the axe, is it turns all your mopey shit into decent threats. Yep. I'll just take the damage. They presumably are now going to bash me. It was really loose of them to attack with the Cutthroat if they don't have a pump to kill the Druid, because it gets no damage in and Aerial Assault can now kill it. Very clever opponent. Let's just try and get them dead. I should have probably foreseen that they would do that and used my used the Brontodon to destroy the axe myself, because it would have basically worked out exactly as badly, but I'd be on 5 more life. Yeah, I didn't think it all the way through there. Okay, opponent hangs back. I'm just going to pass. This is an awkward stalemate now because they've got a 5-4 and so have I. I'm quite keen for their 5-4 to stay alive because it draws them a card when it dies. But with that said, the average card is worse than a 5-4 trample, so basically this card is just really excellent. It's an unbelievable common. What? Oh, I hate it when this happens in draft because you just sometimes lose because a person opened a card. Yeah, that is a tough old thing to beat.
Or is it getting a little warm in here?
Shut up, Chandra. We don't like you. Perfect. Now I have to... There's a bit of pressure on me to start doing stuff. They're going to block and trade, I assume. Wow. Bold. Maybe they just decided to kill me instead. I mean, I'm on 14 and they're going to have 2 emblems, so that's like 7 turns if nothing else happens. Oh, this card is unbeatable in Limited. Literally unbeatable. Yep. I'll attack Chandra again. See what happens. You should trade, opponent. Don't let your Chandra die. So Chandra will take 1, which isn't enough to kill it, which is sad. I don't know how I get out of this. It probably starts with Pulsar Marassa, maybe? Oh, 3 a turn. Got 4 turn clock just from these. It's terrifying. Maybe I should have been trying to kill the opponent. That seems unbelievably bad in a 3-color deck. I've seen 0 colorless cards. Like, I'm just confused. I think they might be playing it because it's a rare, which is definitely not how you should build your deck. Ooh. That might be how we don't lose. That card is very good. Okay. I suppose they can just minus Chandra, wipe the board. Hadn't really considered that. I think if they don't minus Chandra and we draw a combat trick, we have lethal. If they don't make a single point of power and toughness from the 6 cards they have in hand. Okay. Well, they haven't put any blockers down. That is not a combat trick. I'm going to send a message, let them know they were in a scrap. This is a touch irritating. Because it makes it very... We're going to 1 and our upkeep if they do nothing. Target creature or planeswalker. Oh, that's the 5th one, yeah.
Hot for
My bad. Was living in a world where they don't get to activate their Planeswalker every turn, which isn't the real world. Somehow 2 and 2 with what seems like a very good deck. I can't remember what the first loss was to, but losing to Chandra, there's no shame in that. That card is absurd. It's a bit annoying because the opponent was playing weirdly, and losing to weird stuff is frustrating. But we might drag it back. We might get a couple more wins. I think this hand is good enough on the draw. We get to... Yeah. Even though that's not... Obviously a forest would have been even better, but even though it's not a forest, the hand is still decent. Oh, perfect. Now we're on the druid plan. The next turn is going to be Axe, and then Raise the Alarm on their turn, and then we've got a wide board. We've got the Captain to play, which will be huge. We've got the Inspired Charge for like an Alpha Strike. This draw's come together very nicely. Opponent not doing anything is also very kind. They must have a shock or something, trying to decide what to kill. Oh no, they've got to discard a card. Trying to decide which one they don't think they're going to cast. Tectonic Rift, fair enough. Bash for 4. Make one of these. We've got them under a ton of pressure now. If they don't hit a land, they're in trouble. Oh, they have hit a land, but they still haven't got a play, which makes me question a lot of things. Next turn, we've got all of this available. They can't block everything. They should just be dead. Yeah, they agree. Cool, because we have like 1,000,000 points of pump in hand. We could probably deal 25 damage next turn. There we go. As long as we elude $30 6 mana busted mythics, we're probably golden. His hand is like just good enough. The Axe is excellent with the Sentinel. Having a 3/3 flyer with vigilance, good on attack, good on defense. Probably justifies keeping the hand, or at least it does in my head. Plus having both colours of mana and stuff is, you know, beggars can't be choosers. This is above the line, I would say. The turn 2 play not being a creature is annoying, because obviously it can't attack or block, but it's still a turn 2 play. It's not the end of the world. Thrashy B is a good one if we draw a second forest, which we are hoping to anyway for the overcome. Plus he's just a lovely lad, look at him. Well, good news is the opponent didn't have a 2-drop either. I feel as though there's not that many 2-drops in this format compared to historic ones. I probably should have played Thrashing Bronze. Oh, I couldn't. Okay, that's comforting. I just realised more power and toughness would be better, but... Sorry for wriggling around. My chair is not very comfortable. My butt is sad as a consequence. Depending on whether they... Oh, no, this will attack as a 3/4 anyway, so we won't be blocking. But it will be tapped, and then we can... Ooh, this is going to be a big attack. It's going to be what, for 6? Okay, take 6. Good draw. Basic Forest would be the best thing we could possibly see next turn. We're still in really good shape, even though they hit us for 6, because it's dead. They can't attack. 1/1s is well bad. Okay, so they're going to make some rogue attacks and sack this, and I have to decide if this is more valuable to me than those are to them. I think I will. I'll block a token rather than the real one so they can't buy it back and make more tokens. I think I'm okay with this because basically I can Pulse of Marasser it and, you know, kind of loop stuff, as it were. Also, if I draw Basic Forest... Oh! Coward! I'm going to attack. I'm going to play a 2/5, which they can never get through. I'm going to win the game, unless they have Murder. They might have Murder, but then why would they have let me block last turn? Oh. Good luck trying to get through a 2/5 in your 1/1 tribal deck, opponent. Woohoo. Do I have lethal? No, I don't have lethal if they don't block. I'm 1 point short, which is frustrating. So I'm just going to chip with this and be defensive. Feels like this should be a hard game to lose, but I'll find a way. Let's see what they decide to do. Kind of feels though they're weighing up some play they don't want to make but might have to make. Like maybe they have to tag team 2 things to kill this or something. It's big. I'm just going to keep on sticking with the plan. The plan is a good plan. It's a better plan than, you know, other plans, because we've just got lethal next turn in the air, unless they have a thing. Hopefully they tap out for something that doesn't kill me immediately, and then we kill them with the flyer wearing a snake hat. Okay. I can take 8 quite happily, because 8 doesn't kill me. That deals 2. Okay. Does this need a target? From a graveyard to its owner's hand. Okay, so I could bounce. If I think I'm taking lethal, because they're going to swing out presumably. One, two, three, 4. So they're going to deal 10 to me. I'm going to block 2. 2 tokens. It does say to its owner's hand. Yep. They're going to sack their Ember Hauler. They don't have a land for that though, so I don't know. Maybe they've got a land to play post-combat. Maybe they've just cocked this up, I don't know. I'm just going to go for the safe route. Woohoo. So the plan was if they'd had a land, I couldn't remember if they played land that turn anyway, and they went for the Ember Hauler. I thought I was going to be at 2, I was at 3, so actually I was safer than I thought. Okay, well we got to 4 wins, which is like acceptable, but we are playing in Little Bitch Silver Tier. Because I don't use Arena very much and my rank drops and I don't always win when I do. When I was playing a bit more Arena, I was like Platinum, which is, I appreciate, not amazing, but I was satisfied with that. Fushnik, that's a proper name. Yeah, good hand. This is a really good hand. What you got, Fushnik? Okay. I'm going to raise the alarm on Fushnik's turn, I think. Ooh, purple cat, very fancy. They don't block, there's no way they block. I like this hand even though it's a bit lacking in power because we can just go so wide so fast, we just need to draw like 1 inspired charge to win the game. Ah, they are the blue-white Flyers Matters deck. Okay. If they smell a rat then and don't block, then I get to play a 3-2, and if they don't smell a rat, then I get to punk them out big time. I trade my removal spell for 2 of their spells, basically. And we still get to play a creature as well. Life is great. Gaining some life, keeping the pressure up. They did... Yeah, they were on the play, right? So they missed a land drop. Oh, they need to learn that this card is just bad. What a coward. Wow, that's a good draw. Let's make the same attack again. See if they learned. They didn't learn. They might have a trick themselves, but if they don't, then they're just going to put themselves in a real hole. Auras are just bad in limited because you lose 2 things when your thing dies. We're basically playing modern Zoo at this point. We've got like infinite 1 and 2 mana creatures and we apply 1,000,000 pressures. I'm aware that pressures are not measured in pressures and you can't have 1,000,000 of them. I'm being silly. Don't have a counter. Please don't have a counter unless I pay 1 effect. I can't think of anything like that. Okay, good. Right, you got me, opponent. Congrats. We've only got 6 power, annoyingly, so we can't actually kill them. That's fine. Oh, yes we can. What a draw. You are super dead. I like this card if you get a few. I think it's fine if you get like 2, and if you get 3 it becomes actively good. Well, this is about how good I thought the deck was, and then I was losing a bit of faith when we got smushed twice. But no, I think the deck is fine. Steel Overseer, Eternal Staple, very good. I may or may not make a video of it, but I have a bad idea about trying to make Hardened Scales a legacy deck for this like casual friendly legacy tournament someone's organised near us. And Obviously, we'll get to play Steel Overseers in that. Not that it will work. This is a great hand. Again, oh, this deck is perfect. Which makes me a genius, of course. No! Always against this deck. This deck is pretty good. Still, we get to cast a turn 3 Ironroot Warlord at the least. Yeah, this is fine. I like it. We did miss a land, which is a bit sad, but we have 3 mana. 3 mana is enough to get by. What are you up to, opponent? You got anything, or are you going to hold up a befuddle or whatever it is? Okay. Cool. I think I'm just going to play this, and then they can't attack with any of their stuff. We've got excellent blockers for both their creatures. Well, they are going to Value Town. Decided they want to draw a card. Still, we take no damage at least. I would kill for a land. Oh, that's not bad. Let's get rid of that thing. I should have attacked. It was free. Cock. Oh no! Such value. I sent my friend a picture when I was doing one of these drafts yesterday, and my opening 6 was 2 islands, 3 fairy miscreants, a whatever the sprite is, the 1/2, and the blue artifact that lets you return a creature to your hand, so you can just draw infinite cards from the fairy miscreants by paying 2 mana a turn. And not actual infinite, just 2, an extra card every turn. Stating the obvious, I thought that was tremendously funny. Yeah, can't block that. Very clever opponent, very clever. Nice. I'm just going to put stuff on the board and then kill them with a massive overrun. I shouldn't have attacked with the Sentinel there, that was real bad. Because they could have triple blocked and traded one of these for that, which is a horrible trade for me, but luckily my opponent is as stupid as I am. Is Overcome lethal next turn? It's 6, 13, 15, 18 power with trample. They're at 14. Depends on how much they commit. I don't think they've got any good attacks, so they're probably not committing anything. That's hilarious. 4 Fairy Miscreants. Salute. So I think my attacks this turn, I'm going to still attack with these 3. Okay, opponent's gone rogue. I don't know how to deal with this. If they don't block, I've got access to Inspired Charge and Growth Spiral, which is, so that's 9, 10, 16, 19, so I can kill them if they don't block. And they have no attractive blocks, so this might just fucking steal the game, which would be a good giggle. Coward. You coward. That went well. Gonna play this out, and then I'm gonna win next turn. Haha. You want some more Opheron? So I'm being sassy because I think I'm clever. I don't know if that's sassy, it's maybe just rude. Oh, I don't have green up to give haste. Why did they attack that? Oh, very clever. But it won't save you. Opponent has decided I can't possibly have another trick, but it turns out I can, and it could work out really well for me. Alright, I don't know how I lose. Like a board wipe? A board wipe would really fuck me up. That does not really fuck me up. So we've got 3, 7... 15 power with trample next turn, so they need to make 14 toughness, which they have failed to do. Oh no, this is a sorcery. Shit. Shit! I'm an idiot. Oh, that's a frustrating way to fuck things up. Still, they trade 2/2s and they lose their 1/1 and like they're still in a shit spot. But oh, I can't believe I cocked that up. I got so cocky before as well. There you go. Have a laugh at my expense. I deserve it. I don't want to lose this game. I'll pout so much. I'll be intolerable if I lose this game. Utterly intolerable. I wonder if I'd cast it before combat, would I have won? I think I would. Fuck. Oh. Sorcery speed tricks are shit. Although, this one is very good, so maybe I'll stop moaning. But like, I'm not high on Growth Spiral, for example. Okay. So, sure. Ah, perfect. That means we can attack with a lethal Leafkin Druid. That is... Hopefully the opponent will just realise. Unsummoned! The literal magic card unsummoned. That is hilarious. Oh man, I'm getting punished. They need to play a flyer now. Okay, well that's not a flyer. Is your last card a flyer, opponent? Or another unsummon? Doesn't have haste, reach, does it? Fucking hell, it is another unsummon. It's a murder! I'm going to lose! Oh, this is the worst day of my life. I've got the Ceratops in the graveyard, so if I draw Pulse of Marassa, I'm golden. And give it haste. Oh, you're shitting me. Oh. How has this happened? How is this real life? This feels like an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm the villain. Well, if that grows, they've lost. Okay. I'm getting concerned. I think they just attack with the 4/4. Wow. Gaining life isn't allowed. That's not allowed, opponent. I'm going to lose, and I'm furious. Oh, how is this real? This opponent must be absolutely fucking loving this as well. I would be. They've needed every card, every life point, everything has mattered. It shouldn't have mattered, but I'm a dumbass. Okay. So this thing, does it trigger on blocks now only when it attacks? Okay. Fucking hell. Ain't that a treat? Ugh, I'm getting towards like Pulse of Marassa or Bust at this point. So they attack. Pew pew. I chump the 4. And then I draw a Pulse of Marassa and win? It might not even be good to win. That's the crazy part. Fucking hell. Oh, maybe I deserve that for getting cocky, but Jesus, was that annoying. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure it was tremendous fun for anyone who wants to laugh at my expense. Oh, I'm cranky now. Alright, what did we get? Some gems, a pack. I just want copies of Dread Presents, please. That means we're very close to my next bad deck. Very close. So that's fun. That's it for this draft. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a roller coaster, to say the least. And yeah, we'll be doing more content like this very soon. Thanks for watching.